Welcome to webinar 78. What time is it? We're going to have a good time today. And I have to say, as with many of these webinars, I'm talking to myself today. So all the fingers, you know how they say you point one finger, uh, you point one finger at someone else, you got three pointing back at you. Well, all the fingers are pointing back at me today. So we're going to talk about time and something that I just have experienced my whole life, but just discovered in the source article today, the terminology of it, which is time blindness. So we're going to find out, how does time blindness steal your productivity? So it has been said, by the time management gurus that a to-do list is a wish because it's a lot of intentions. Now, I was a list girl. I was a to-do. It was just the thing to do. You make your list. In fact, one of the most product productive business owners I know starts with a legal pad every day, and he writes down his list of his entire day on this legal pad, crosses them out as he goes. He'll put notes, as things are progressing. And the end of the day, that legal pad goes. Anything that was left over goes on to the next page. And that was like every day was a fresh list. Um, he also had a team around him to help him accomplish all these things. But it was a thing to see. And I actually patterned a lot of my time management after him uh, as well. But I also have this streak of, and like I said, I didn't know the name today until today, of time blindness. So we're going to talk about your calendar, but also going to talk about, well, have a slide about what we're going to talk about. So a pile of intentions with no home is a to-do list. So we're going to talk about giving your to-do list a home, a decision. Once it's on the calendar, it's like it's a decision that's already made, and you're just, um, fitting in the slots of when that work is going to happen. If it doesn't have a time slot, it doesn't get done. So most entrepreneurs, and I know there are a lot of entrepreneurs on this call, and thank you, welcome, hey, don't have a productivity problem. They have a protection problem. So we're going to step away from the concept of finding time. You got to find time to do this or find time to do that, to actually uh, protecting the time that we have and assigning that time. When it's scheduled, it'll get done. Now, the original foundation for this talk came from Robert Blakely, and this QR code is a link to his YouTube channel. And he's an expert in sales psychology, business psychology, and he's brilliant. And I follow him, part of his community, and I definitely recommend that you just go to this QR code and go to his lives. And like I said, he's brilliant. But I also have this article to share with you, how to time block with ADHD. Now, I remember back in the day, ADHD was something that children were diagnosed with. And then there was this um, discovery of adult ADHD, which were probably undiagnosed kids that grew up and, you know, managed and uh, compensated and things like that. And, I thought, I never took the test for ADHD. But there are some traits that were described in adults with ADHD that I definitely related to. And this article I definitely relate to. And so rather than thinking, well, do I need a diagnosis to help, for this to help me? No. Actually, a lot of the tips in this article are good for everyone. And so I love this science, but also the practicality that came out of the science that they're sharing in this. Um, so just like the keto diet started with children with neurological problems, but it's something that, the vast majority of people could benefit from. Um, the you don't have to have a neurodivergent brain in order to benefit from these strategies, and I love it. So what we're going to discover today, secret number one, if you can't see time, you can't manage it. So this is going to be where we learn a little bit about time blindness. Secret number two, giving your important work a home. And we're going to talk about the big rocks theory. You might have heard of it, but I never heard of it specifically applied to entrepreneurship. It was mostly a general life strategy. So we're going to focus that down a little bit today. Secret number three, protect the block, but leave breathing room. So we want to have structure in our time blocks, but we also might need to build in, or it is possible to build in some buffers so we're not locked in. So it's actually going to give us time freedom rather than a time jail, for instance. And bonus number four, I love it. Match the work to your brain. Do the right or schedule the right task at the right time when you have the right energy. So make time visible, protect what matters, and you'll get more done. Okay, so what is time blindness? It's not laziness. It's a real difference in how time feels and how time works. I can remember uh, when I was in high school, let's say, and I had to fly out of BWI Airport at a certain time. And I remember this one time distinctly when we left 45 minutes before my check-in time. And we were down in the country. We weren't anywhere near BWI Airport. And at that time, I lived on this road called Sands Road, and the road was actually not paved. And somehow my mother made it to the airport in 45 minutes. And I, to this day, cannot explain how that happened on those roads with that car, but that it happened. So, and that stuck with me. And so I think I've always had this idea that, okay, I got a couple more minutes, I could do this. And of course, that happened today because a few minutes before this webinar, I got some more ideas. I was like, oh, I have to put it in. I have to put it in. Okay, so time blindness. Number one, difficulty sensing how much time has passed. Or number two, I think this is the main one, difficulty for me, I mean, difficulty estimating how long something will take. And then yeah, this is not just for me. Number three, difficulty feeling how close a future event really is. Yeah, I feel that one too. So if your internal clock is fuzzy, make time visible. I used to call this having a tenuous relationship with the space-time continuum. That's how I explained it to myself. But now I know it was time blindness. So there are four thieves stealing your most valuable resource. I mean, we all get the same time every day, but um, we can lose it so easily. So, thief number one, reacting all day. All right, so if your eyes open and the first thing you do is check your email or your whatever your inbox is that you check, um, you're already letting the day get away from you because you're letting other people set your priorities. Uh, Number two, thief number two, no boundaries. When you're working from home, especially, and your door is open and you can get interruptions, they create time leaks. Thief number three, task switching. So when you jump between prospecting, admin stuff, messaging, um, every time you switch, or let me put content creation in there, right? Every time you switch, your brain, you pay a, what do they call it? A tax, an attention tax or something like that. And so uh, you need some time to make that adjustment mentally. And then the busy work, uh, hamster wheel. Like you're doing good things. You're doing things that your business needs or that your life needs, but there are other things that you might be procrastinating from that are more important than the good thing that you're doing right now. So uh, you're pushing off the uncomfortable money making activity by organizing your files or something. Now, I'm, I have been told that I'm very good at organizing, but organizing doesn't always make money, right? There are money making activities that as entrepreneurs we have to attend to. So, um, if you can't see time, you can't manage it. Time blindness makes invisible time expensive, and your internal clock may not be reliable. Now, Robert, the Blakester, talks about the 12-minute conversation. And he's done this 12-minute conversation so many times that he doesn't even have to watch the clock. He can sense that, um, it's time to move to the next phase or it's time to plan to wrap up, etc. How many times, I can't even tell you how many times I've had a quote unquote 12-minute conversation turn into an hour. And, you could call that being in the moment, but it's really being time blind. And that time slips away, and that's really a productivity stealer. So, um, at the end of the day, you could be like, where did the day go? You had all these things on your list and you just lost track, or you let it slip away, you pushed it off, and we're going to have a fix for that. And that is how to make time visible. So you can work with your brain rather than working against your brain. So block it. Give your important tasks a home. Batch it. The tasks that you have to do that are similar, batch them together and assign that block of time for those similar tasks. Buffer it, right? You might have a block of time set, but leave a little wiggle room. Like give yourself that, time for a brain break or a bathroom break or a real world, outside of your office door break, and then protect it. Protect your time, protect your appointments. Like, these are appointments with yourself when you make a time block, but protect it like it's an appointment with a very important client. And this is how we can start working with our brain instead of against it. Okay, so secret number 2, give your important work a home. When I was little, my grandmother's house was where the whole family gathered for big holidays, Easter, Thanksgiving, you know, and at the end, there were all these dishes and pots and pans, and my mom would start uh, washing the dishes. And I mean, she was the dishwasher. There was no electric dishwasher, right? And it was almost like I'd blink and all the dishes were done. And I'm letting you know, I wasn't helping. So sorry, Mom. I left it all on to you. But I asked her, I said, how did you get that done? And she said, well, I washed the big pots first. And I stored that away. And then, you know, decades later, the big rocks theory comes. And I've got so do the big rocks first. That's the message, right? And then the little things can fit around um, the 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 spaces in between the big rocks. And there is a great, I hope you can see this QR code, or I hope you can scan this QR code. It's a, it's an Instagram video that talks about the big rocks. Now, this video is talking about just life in general, but um, we can also focus on our money making activities. What is going to be important and at what time of day? So book your income producing blocks first and put the hardest items or the most important items at your sharpest hours. Your family and personal time, put that in next, and then let anything else fill in. So here's the big rocks theory in a nutshell. If you put the little minutia, if you put the sand in the jar first, the big rocks will never fit. But if you put the big rocks in first and then you can pour the sand in, the sand will settle in and fill around the big rocks and you can still get it all done. So what are the income producing hours? I mean, income producing tasks. Um, or what's gonna be in our money hours. So income producing, prospecting and outreach, follow-up calls, presentations and closes, asking for referrals, training your team. Everything else, the emails, the messages, the admin and paperwork, reorganizing, probably my favorite, planning, social media scrolling. So I would put uh, content creation on the income producing list if you are actually using that content, if you're scheduling and posting and whatnot. If not, then that is on the everything else list because you have to put it into action. So, secret number 3, protect the block, but leave breathing room. So, we need structure plus buffers. So, the structure, make sure we get those big rocks done at the times we want to do them. But you could put uh, like with a 12-minute call, you got a 3-minute buffer before the next appointment. Or if you have a 15-minute appointment, you can make a 15-minute buffer afterwards. Um, or a 30-minute appointment, you can make a 15-minute buffer, or you can put in 15 minutes anywhere you want to throughout your day. So you're really scheduling the wiggle room. And that means you can adapt without having to break your plan. So I like this. Protect the block, but expect real life. So what can you do? Oh, that's the word I was thinking of, switching tasks. Okay. So every switch between tasks costs you focus. So, like I said, we want to batch like tasks. We want to group the same type of work together, but you can also theme your days. Give each day a job. And that way, um, you don't have to worry about, okay, what am I going to do today? What's what are my priorities today? What do I, you know that you're going to be doing certain things on certain days in your big block time, and then the small blocks and the buffers can fill in the rest. So you want to treat your block like it's a client. You wouldn't cancel on a paying client to answer a text. So give your own time blocks that same respect. Number two, you're inviting interruptions if your phone is up, your notifications. Like I had to I have both my phones off right now. They can't even, visually interrupt me. Um, and let people know when you're unavailable. How many Zooms have you been on when someone gets a call and they're like, they know I'm on my Zoom right now. They know this is my time right now. So um, you let your people know, but you also can decrease your interruptions because you have put up the fortress. But then we're going to leave gaps so that between blocks, you're not scheduled wall to wall. You've got some moments between the day where you can attend to real life. So defend it like your income depends on it, because it does. All right. So if you go back to Robert's channel, he has a couple of related videos, and he talks about your CRM being an ATM, and the CRM is a customer relationship management system, because um, you know the you our money making activities are not just a one and done situation. We have to follow our and we have to follow up with our um, prospects, with our customers, etc. So we want to make sure that we've time blocked not just the initial outreach, but we want to time block our follow-ups as well. And if we use that as the focus, then even if your motivation is fading a little bit, your calendar is helping you, this is making the decision for you. You just look at the clock, and um, Robert has made some scripts that I'm going to show you now. You know, actually, the AI that I use interpreted Robert's script. So I'm not 100%. Um, I'm not telling you to use these scripts 100%, but they do give you an idea of where to start with what you're going to do inside of that time block. So let's say you're following up with a product. Um, and this was based on just any business, any product. Hey, I mean, Robert's training was based on any business. I asked the AI to focus on more of a healthcare or um, health and wellness. So, hey, I'm doing my follow-up block and you were top of mind. I would not say that, right? But you do want to greet your customer. And what did you love most about the sample or the video? I know your goal is this. All those things are kind of salesy to me, but what I loved is um, the last point, where before you even end the conversation, you are scheduling or you're planning for or getting permission for a follow-up uh, for the next follow-up. Like, is it okay if I follow up with you in 30 days or in a week or whatever it is? And again, pitching a business opportunity, I would not use this exact script, but you want to, this is getting you into the direction of the conversation you want to have. So, hey, just looking over my schedule for the week. Last time we spoke, you mentioned wanting more, blah, blah, blah. So now we would interpret that, or we would change that to, I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about the last time we talked, right? Not looking over my schedule. So we want to make sure and turn these into customer first conversations. So I'm launching 2 new partners this month. Yeah, this is creating scarcity, but if you're going to launch any and all comers, don't say I'm launching 2 new partners, right? If you're if you're going to give away, especially if you have a digital product and you're going to give away so many, you know, don't say you only have that many. You could say the first 10 are going to be free or, are going to have this discount, but make it real. So don't get there's a commercial. There are a couple of commercials on YouTube right now, and they're like, "Yes, today is the last day you could order this." And then the next day, "Oh, yes, today's the same commercial has been going for 2 weeks, right? But they're always saying this is the last day. So no false scarcity and no false urgency. But again, the bottom, if we could fit it into your schedule, that's great. A 15-minute chat, that's perfect as long as you stick to the 15 minutes. And we know we can do that with the training of the 12-minute conversation. Okay, someone who's ghosted you. Hey, usually when I don't hear back, it means the timing is off or you found another solution for your tinnitus or whatever. Totally fine either way. Should I cross you off my list for now or follow up next month? So you give them an easy way out, you remove the pressure, but you give them an idea and you have something that you can put into your CRM as a plan to follow up. So what could a block day look like? You know, your early morning routine. Lorene Williams gave I'm sure this is her. Um, Wake up, pray up, dress up, show up. Right? That was her morning routine, and I love that. And you can put a lot of things into those. There's a book called The Magic Morning, but you want to protect your first morning activities, thoughts, your time. Prime hours are your income producing hours. Midday, maybe that's when you do your follow-ups. Late day, that's when you can do that's when the sand comes. You do your um, admin work, your organization, and then maybe the most important, close the laptop because you do need to refresh for the next day. And the structure creates freedom, not restriction. That is something that was a belief shift of mine, and I used to not want to put something down in the calendar because I wasn't sure when it would happen and I might have more time later. And, it was like, oh, I didn't want to be locked in. But when you um, actually block that time for that thing, it frees you up for the other things that happen in your day. Um, so we talked about the time killers or the time thieves. These are the block killer. So once you are starting to use time blocks, what can happen? Well, again, the same first one, starting in your emails, right? Have your magic morning before you start letting the world dictate your priorities. Um, Breaking your own blocks. Every time you have to cave to a little interruption, your block is losing authority and you're breaking a promise to yourself. Wrong task, wrong energy. That is actually the bonus secret we're going to talk about. But um, doing hard calls or doing hard tasks when your energy is drained is going to be a lose-lose situation. And then overscheduling, overpacking a day, no buffers is unrealistic. You have to take a break one way or another. So build it in. Okay, so what are some things you can do? Figure out when are your sharpest 2 hours of the day. What's going to be the time block where you protect your income activities, and what you can take those scripts that I showed you and the tips that I talked to you about them and the caveats and make your own scripts so you are ready to go and you will tweak them you'll personalize them each time, but you'll have the foundation of the communication you want to have with your people. So you will own your calendar and be able to do the work. So I have about a download for you. This is a summary of James Clear's book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This QR code will take you to his website and you can download a PDF summary of his book, and it is amazing. And it shows you how to order the book from there. So that is my gift to you today. And those of you who are here with me live, I know that some of you know that we're going to be here for 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. The replay for this very webinar will premiere on YouTube. And at that time, for the premiere, the first showing on YouTube, I'll be live in the comments with you. So come on in at 9 p.m. Eastern. Maybe you think about some questions you have, or you changed, you made a shift in your day or made a shift in your plan, in your calendar, and you can come talk about it at 9 p.m. Eastern. But YouTube calls it a premiere. I call it the watch party. And some people do have watch parties for these. They get together and come for the premiere. So yes, you're here live, but I welcome you back. And those of you who are on the replay, I would love for you to join me live at Total Transformation Secrets. We're here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Just scan the QR code and that will take you to the Zoom webinar registration. And I am so glad to have you here. The red Corvette's getting ready to ride. I love you all. Mwah.